This is the Transformers Generations Age of the Primes Commander Class Aerial Bot Silverbolt. He is 3 of 5 of Superion. Obviously, he is the main torso that forms Superion. And if you watch the old G1 cartoon, you'll know that he was the guy who was afraid of flying. I mean, he was afraid to fly, afraid of heights and whatever, but he overcome it. It was nice. He became eventually the leader of the aerial bots, and you can see right here, spoiler alert, this is a flashback scene when they went back to a time when Cybertron was still at peace, and they found out who Optimus Prime was before he became Optimus Prime. Anyway, I picked up this figure from Amazon. Oh, the box looks very, very good. It's in pristine condition. Good job. Some dents here. I forgot to see this. I didn't see this. But overall, I'm happy with the way the box looks. Let's get this bad boy out of packaging. And here is Silverbolt out of the box. And you know, I misjudged this figure. When it was first revealed, I really thought it was corny. Even the alt mode, I thought it was going to be corny. We'll talk more about that later. But now having him in hand, I realized I misjudged this figure, and it's pretty good. I'm loving this figure. I really enjoyed posing him, transforming him. Plastic is very solid. He's a pretty good Commander class combiner figure. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 17.5 centimeters tall, or about 6 7/8 inches tall. For comparisons, here he is with another Commander class figure, the Studio Series 86 Commander class Optimus Prime. And here he is with the previously released aerial bots, fellow combiners for Superion. We've got Air Raid and Slingshot. Now on to the details of this figure. Figure is very faithful to the G1 Silverbolt, particularly the cartoon version of Silverbolt. I don't know what I did with my Silverbolt figure, actually my brother's Silverbolt figure. I think I had probably sold it off. I can't remember. I remember I had it because I still have the guns left over and some of the parts of Superion, but the actual figure is gone. So I must have sold it off as a loose figure, or a relative might have asked for it or something. I can't remember. I can't find it anymore. So this is what the G1 toy looks like. Got a lot of die-cast and chrome bits. The gun is sort of, kind of looks like that. But what they did with this one is they made it very, very cartoon accurate. You can clearly see that the head is much different from this squat looking head. The reason it's like that is because that thing folds up. There's a hinge on his cheeks, and that's been reflected in the art, in the design of Silverbolt. And also you will note that on his shoulders he's got these little teeny tiny wings, and those are really the G1 attachment to Superion's chest. This is the chest attachment of Superion, and those are the tips of those wings which rest on his shoulders. They're not supposed to be attached when he's in Silverbolt mode, because that's attached in combined mode. But when you look at the G1 renders, the cartoon renders, the artist kind of put that in just so he's not too plain looking. And in most of the scenes, if not all the scenes, you get to see those small little wingtips on his shoulders, and you get to see again that head sculpt. The head sculpt is just uncannily G1. Look, the resemblance, the sculpt that they did. Obviously, the colors are very toy accurate and not cartoon accurate. But the sculpt is what's really selling me with this figure. It's very much like the G1 cartoon sculpt. So like I said, the figure has a blaster, a mini blaster, sort of like a smaller version of the Silverbolt and Superion gun. The figure has great articulation. He's got a ball-jointed neck. I didn't think he would have a waist swivel, but he does. The landing gear in alt mode acts as skirts for you can lift it up so you can have his legs kick forward, backward on ratchets. The ratchets, because they need support in combined mode. You do the splits. Full 180. You got a thigh swivel, hinge knees, ankles. They've got the rocker tilt, and they kind of move up and down because of transformation. The heel spurs pop out. That's the official way to transform it. Earlier in the video, when I first, in the introduction, I folded up this way because it just looks funny with the heel spurs out. But without the heel spurs, it's going to be pretty difficult to stand him up. You'll have to, I don't know how you're going to do it without those heel spurs. Because he is back heavy. He's got the rest of the jet on his back, and probably the only way to do it is now. I have not been able to stand him up without the heel spurs. But when you're posing him in a flight stand, I think the feet look better without the heel spurs. Yeah, but because of physics, you're gonna need those. Okay, the shoulders go in and out, forward and backward 360. You got bicep swivels, hinge elbows, wrists kind of move down and up because of transformation. So tons of articulation, great posability. I'm loving the colors because they're very cartoon accurate. That head sculpt is just gorgeous. Now the backpack, well, it's pretty G1 toy accurate. That's where all the jet bits go. And just like most of the aerial bots, they're like robots with jet backpacks. That's one of the things that really turned me off with this combiners, but it is what it is, and they were one of the few back in G1 cartoon lore. They were one of the few flying Autobots. That's why they had jets. Okay, now this is a commander class. As you can see, it's not just the figure. As a part of the main part of the combiner, he comes with a trailer, just like Motormaster. So this is a jet with a trailer. I know it sounds stupid. I thought it was stupid, but it actually turns out great in alt mode. We'll talk about that in alt mode. But the whole trailer transforms into sort of like a bunker, or I guess this is a gunner's nest, and then he can actually use this as sort of like his it's like a base of operations or a battle station or a turret, a gunner's turret. I don't know how he's going to transport this, but I guess, it just pops up whenever, and then he just go behind it and then shoot some Decepticons. This is not G1 accurate. This is not even G1 toy accurate. It's just something that they had to do because they needed the endoskeleton, the exoskeleton, endoskeleton of Superion to transform into something that's going to be part of Silverbolt. So that's why they have it just like what they did with Motormaster. Now, the instructions do a terrible job at hiding the fact that this is Superion's gun. They don't even want you to connect the gun here, so it actually looks better that way. They want you to store the gun here, but the wings cannot close completely, so you'll have to have the wings a little bit opened up. That's what they want you to do in battle station mode. Open the wings up, put the gun behind, and sort of that. But everybody knows, if you know the G1 mythology, this is Silverbolt's gun like this, and then Superion holds it like this, and that's essentially what's going to happen. You can see some tabs right here where two other guns can combine, probably from Fireflight and maybe Skydive. I don't know. The instructions don't say anything. Maybe Fireflight or Skydive are going to combine to form these bits right here together with the other weapons, I suppose. So yeah, they do just a great job, a terrible job at hiding that fact. So base mode, okay. I actually like it. I don't hate it. The only thing that doesn't really sit well with me with this thing, because it's very solid back here, but this front part, it's a parts forming base mode. This thing just comes off way too easily. This is the rear end of the jet, which connects here. We'll show that off later in transformation, but that's the only thing. I don't know how they could have fixed it. Maybe they could have inverted it and found a way to fold it up this way, but they made it a parts forming piece, and it is a little bit annoying because it's not as easy to put it on, and it doesn't stay as well as it should be, as it should stay on. So, okay, if you're okay with that, then it's a great base mode, or bunker mode, or gunner's nest mode. So, yeah. Now, the gun does come off. And again, there is a handle right here, which the instructions tell you. They don't tell you about it. The way to pull out that handle instead of just breaking your nail like that is you fold the stock, and then it has to come up with the stock. That's how you fold it, and I'm pretty sure somehow it's going to form something like this. Okay, so time to transform him into his jet mode or airplane mode. Get rid of the weapon, just leave it off to the side. Okay, the fists, fold down this, and then the arms, or the forearms, are going to bend in the wrong direction. Then the chest. You want to open this up, and you can see right here, this is one of the trickier transformations. When you bring down the Superion head, the antennae, or the antennas, they fit in those slots right there. Exactly. It's like a 0.5 millimeter clearance, and then you just have to tab in the chest panels onto the shoulders and onto these shoulders. So it's a little tricky. That transformation is probably the most difficult part when getting him into robot mode. So do that. You want to bring out that really cool Superion head. Pop it up like that. And then rotate Silverbolt's head. Fold his actual head down. And then the arms, they are going to fold. It's a little tricky. Again, it's tight. You got to push all the way. Same with this one on the other side. All the way. Okay. The forearms are sticking out the side. That's fine. Now the head is going to squeeze just in the middle of those shoulders and tab right back in. The shoulder armor, it's a little tricky. You just have to depress on that and then slide it onto this back panels. Okay. Then the jet parts right here. Fold the wings out. The fuselage, the front part of the fuselage, the nose cone goes up like this and covers that head. So you got to tab these bits right here onto the back of the shoulders, and then you need to tab the head till it clicks onto that nose cone. Okay, the head will have the landing gear. You can pop that one out right now. Next up, you want to do the legs. You want to fold in the heel spurs, fold up the feet, and then rotate them inwards. There are two hinges right here. This is really the knee hinge, but there's another transformation hinge right here on the thigh, which you will then use to fold up and just collapse this leg onto the shoulders or where the arms are. So do it like this and fold it, push it in, and tab that whole leg assembly onto where the arm used to be. Okay, do the same on the other side. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and fold. Shoot that forearm onto the back of the legs and then just push and tab in. Okay, and that should solidify that chest. And then to complete, make it super solid, the wings, they're going to tab onto the legs, the back of the feet. Fold out these wing flaps for now. It's easier to fold them out that way. You can also fold them out after tabbing them in. So tabbing in the wings secures the legs, shoulders, and chest assembly. Okay, fold out those wings, wingtips. And then finally, another difficult transformation because the clearances are very tight. You want to fold down this tail fin like that. Barely clears those bits. And transforming him back into robot mode, that thing is a little tricky as well. You fold it upward, diagonally up like that. So do that. Okay, we're almost done. Just tidy things up. Okay, onto the nose cone itself. Fold up the cockpit or the canopy, and then this bit right here folds out, and it forms the tip of the Concorde. And what's interesting about this is the nose cone actually tilts forward, which the actual Concorde does that because it's so long, it needs to tip so that the pilots have a better visual when they're looking at the ground, when they're taking off, and then when they're landing. That allows the pilots to see downwards, because if it's here, they're not going to be able to see the runway as clearly. So I'm glad they put that in, but really the purpose of that is so that you can use that space to just flip out the cockpit and then fold that back in. So interesting that they've added that little bit of detail to make it more accurate to a Concorde. Okay, landing gear, as I mentioned earlier, the side skirts in robot mode, they do form landing gear. And essentially, that is Superion's. That is Silverbolt's Concorde alt mode. And it looks great. It's very accurate to an actual Concorde, and to a certain extent his old G1 self, which I no longer have. My apologies. Okay, so let's bring in the previously released aerial bots. You got air raid and slingshot, and they do fit nicely with each other. They scale very well. Silverbolt was always the biggest of them all. So yeah, let's put that off to the side right here. If you want to see him beside a regular Seeker mold, here is Dirge. And as you can see, he's slightly bigger than a Voyager class figure. Maybe could pass as a leader class, but in all aspects, he is at least a Voyager class figure in robot mode, and even, I guess, in alt mode. But he's just very, very heavy. And now to add the trailer, or get him into his jumbo jet alt mode. His gun, I'm gonna plug it underneath his fuselage, cockpit. It's a little tight, especially the first time you do it. It's going to be very tight plugging that thing in. Okay, and it stays right there. Okay. The other gun is going to come out here. And a fold. Oh no, just keep it like that. And we'll keep it at that position. Okay, so the battle station is going to be split, as I showed earlier. And then this one is going to be part of this rear end. This is like the front end of the trailer, as it were. Okay, and then you want to rotate these bits right here, 180. And then these, I'm going to fold out. And then you're going to attach this entire thing here. You got those slots right there for those tabs and so on. Just line them up properly. And they should tab in nicely. Okay, and then this flap right here is going to tab and secure that rear section onto the back end of the trailer or jet trailer. And then this part right here is going to fold, and it's going to tab and secure even more that whole section right there. Okay, just make sure everything's tabbed tight. Okay, keep the wings out. And then the gun. The gun is going to sit right here, Superion's gun. It's going to sit right there. Okay. Maybe, yeah. Fold the barrel right here. Right there, my bad for not pointing that out. I need to attach him right here. So to do that, fold up the landing gear. And then these sections right here, the clamps, are going to fold out. And then you're going to just lift these wings out. And then the thighs of Silverbolt, they're going to slide onto those clamps. There, they're just going to line up properly. And then the wings, they're going to tab right back in, but this time they're going to tab onto the trailer, the wing trailer, okay? This one loves to pop off on my copy, this side. Let me know if it happens on your side too, on your copy, because I need to put some extra force just to keep this thing tabbed in. So there you go. There is the Mega Concorde trailered up alt mode. And you know what? When this was first revealed during the Pulse show, and I was thinking, this is the corniest thing for Generations. Really, the corniest alt mode. But having it in hand and actually playing around with it, like, it looks like a battleship. It's like a Star Destroyer or like a galactic, like a space Cybertronian battleship or battle station. I don't know. It's like a Star Destroyer to a certain extent, if you watch Star Wars. And my bad, this thing needs to fold down right there just to keep it streamlined. I mean, come on, man. Look how cool this thing is. I did not expect this thing to be really, really cool. It's massive. It feels like one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s in the Marvel Universe, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s helicarrier. Something like that. Like a flying aircraft carrier, Star Destroyer, whatever, Cybertronian battle cruiser. It really looks so cool, and I'm impressed. I'm not being sarcastic here or anything. I'm not trying to put some shade on this alt mode, because I didn't believe in it. I really did not think this thing was going to work, because I thought it was stupid to put a trailer on the back of a jet. But it works. It kind of makes it like a super jumbo, like attack jet, and I'm liking it. I'm really, really liking it. Okay, so if you want some comparison of how big this thing is, let me bring in another Voyager class. Here is Cyclonus. So he could act like as a landing pad. I mean, that was one of the third mode of the G1 Silverbolt. He was like a sort of landing pad or takeoff battle station for the other smaller aerial bots. So you can see the size of this thing. This really is a commander class, not just the leader class, but a commander class. I mean, come on. And if you wanted to see how it scales with the other smaller deluxe class aerial bots, I think they can plug in, if I'm not mistaken. Can they? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The instructions don't say anything, but it looks as though there are ports, and you know what? I feel they can actually plug in. Like this guy. You see those slots right there for the legs. If we do some finagling here. Okay, here we go. Bear with me for a moment. I think it should work. Yeah, they do fit somehow. Like if you watch Super Sentai, when the ship gets transported, when the parts. Yeah, look at this. Just fold up the landing gear. See, Slingshot actually fits, and does air raid fit as well? Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, you could kind of display him as sort of like an aircraft carrier in the air. And I think maybe with a little bit of imagination, I think this can work. Let me just bring back that landing gear. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would totally work. I mean, you put Cyclonus in there. Like, yeah, look at that. He carried 3 jets. How cool is that? So now let's get him into his combined mode. So it's easiest to get him into combiner mode when he's in his alt mode. Detach the front section. Just be very careful. You don't want to break anything. Okay. Put that back in jet mode. Let's do Silverbolt first. So remove the weapon. Also, this weapon's going to come off. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and fold the wingtips. Okay. And then this section right here is going to unpeg, fold back down, and then fold the nose coming in. Okay, it's going to stay right there. Okay, move out the fins, and essentially the transformation of jet mode is more or less already the torso, the upper torso of Superion. So you don't need to do too much except rotate that head, and there you go. This is where the arms combine. Okay, now don't tab everything just yet because you're going to need some space for the lower torso. So just fold these pieces out like that and we'll leave them there. Okay, next the base part or the trailer section. Go ahead and fold the wings. Go ahead and untab, remove the rear section and fold that up, detach from the fists, and then just detach the entire that rear section. So you can already see these are the thighs and the lower ab section. Okay, fold up the skirt so you know where you're going. Okay, just fold, rotate. Your guide basically is the screws. You want them facing backwards, all for obvious reasons. Go ahead and fold. Here those ratchets, you know. Go ahead and rotate these pieces. Fold down the skirts, and then okay, this thing's gonna fold. Okay, and let's go back to Silverbolt. You're gonna tab these sections right here, these 2 flat pegs. You're gonna slot here on the crotch, and then this panel right here is gonna tab onto his rear end. So go ahead and do that. Tab that in first, and then the big flap is gonna lock things in, and then this tail section is just going to make everything nice and tidy. Okay, and then the rear section, the fuselage front part of the jet will lock things in place, and then just fold the wings back onto the chest plate. It's just gonna tab in. Very easy. Tab in there, and there you go. There is torso mode of Superion. So we're gonna keep it there. Moving on to the trailer. You want to detach these external pieces right here, the wings. These will form the arms of Superion. Move in like that, and this is the right arm, obviously, and this is the left arm. Now the arm moves like this, transforms this way, just like Menasor. I don't think that's such a bad thing. People are hating on it because it's so unoriginal now, because that's Menasor's transformation, but I'm pretty okay with it. I think it works. So the arm combines here on the part of the torso where the shoulders should be. Okay, and this one, before you split him up, the instructions are very explicit now. You have to combine or put an aerial bot first. Like in this regard, you put slingshot, and I guess over there will be fireflight. But so you combine him first, because here's where the gimmick lies. As you tab slingshot onto the arm, you gotta tab it all the way, just like a drag strip. Menasor. Oh, you should be able to parry this one apart. Okay, here we go. There we go. Well, that was easy. Okay, so do the same here. Okay. Doesn't quite work as well as, say, with Menasor. So, okay, but it's okay. I think you'll get the hang of it after a while. Okay, let me just tidy things up. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna keep the weapons here just so we don't lose them. Okay, so just, okay, and then it should form the right arm of Superion. Okay, there you go. And as you can deduce, these two are going to be the legs. So I'm gonna fold up the clamps, split these two apart, and I like the way it's been designed for Superion. It's a lot more intuitive when you combine the pieces together to form the trailer, whereas with Menasor, there's a lot of steps. It's a little more complex. You just put them together and form the trailer of Menasor, but of Motormaster. So first thing you want to do, you want to pin up the knees and the thigh connectors. Okay, you want to fold down the toes, the heel spurs, and fold and lock in very tight. It's very difficult to just, if you're doing it gently, it's not gonna come in. So you gotta hit it hard, but it comes off fairly easily. I mean, it's not that difficult. It's just tough to get it in. Okay, so as you can see, the rocker tilts are here, so that's your guide, the right leg and left leg. So they combine just like Combiner Wars Pack, just like Menasor. You slide them in, and they stick there onto the thighs. There's a spring-loaded flap right here to guide you, and just slide those knees in, and maybe we can set him up. Things are shaping up, and for this gun, instructions don't say anything, but I'm gonna call it. We need to put the front end of Silverbolt's gun at the tip, and then, like I said earlier, you go ahead and unfold the handle, and obviously he's gonna be able to hold it this, and you're just waiting for the other sections of the gun, and there you go. That is 3/5 of, or 60% of Superion done and completed, and he's looking very nice. Oh, not 60%. My bad. Do apologize. Air raid, and then over there would be skydive. So I guess this would be the way to transform him. Go ahead and fold that up. Okay, my bad. was in a rush. Very excited for the combined mode. So again, just like the Stunticons, as you slide or as you attach one of the members, the doors or the spring-loaded panels are gonna just collapse and complete that leg. So okay, here we go. Man, that's tight. Always tight the first time you do it. This is actually the first time I'm doing this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Did I do it properly? Yep. Okay, the doors have closed. Air raid is there, back there. Okay, now we have 60% completion of Superion. And man, it looks great. I'm actually liking this more than Menasor, ironically, because back in G1, oh, I hated Superion. I hated the aerial bots because I thought they were a corny team with just crazy personalities for Autobots. And looking at this one now, I think second time around, using this whole engineering mold, not exactly the Menasor mold, but akin to the engineering of Menasor, I'm liking this. I am liking this. With 2 more aerial bots to go, this Superion is looking just terrific. Just loving it, man. And so some final thoughts on this new Age of the Primes Silverbolt. Despite being goofy looking when it was first revealed, I actually find it a really good figure in hand. I was pleasantly surprised, just really blown away at how great the engineering of this figure is and how sound all the modes are. I had second guessed it way too quickly, repurposing the old Motormaster gimmick and Menasor combination engineering I thought was lazy. I think it works perfectly for the aerial bots to make a cartoon accurate Superion. I think I'm gonna like Superion, this generation Superion, more than the Legacy Menasor. This figure will obviously get a 10 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Age of the Primes for the Combiner Team Superion, the leader of the aerial bots, Commander Class Silverbolt. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. This Superion is...